What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Nakia Alexis. I know it's been a long time since I recorded a video. Oh, school has just taken over my life, but I'm back and I'm better. And today I have a story time video, and it's a crazy story about the time when I was in college and I was basically trapped in this guy's car, and just a horrible, crazy, weird experience I had. And before I get started in the video, I want to let you guys know, make sure to thumbs this video up, like it, you know, share with your friends, subscribe if you have not subscribed, comment down below, and you can add me on like Twitter, because I love to tweet and we could talk to each other, and I'll follow you and we could have conversations about what I should do next. And you could definitely Snapchat me if it's cool. Girl, my Z, I'm popping. Hey. Anyways, we're gonna get started with this story time. Make sure to thumbs this video up, like it if you want to see more story times by me, subscribe if you want to see more videos by me, and stay tuned. So guys, today I'm gonna tell you this college horror story about the time where I was basically trapped in a guy's car, and just what happened when I thought I was just gonna get a ride home, and the crazy experience I had. So I was about, this was my sophomore year of college, and I was 18 years old turning 19, and I went to this school. I majored in theater, and I went to this school that was approximately 3 hours away by public transportation, and it was about 30 to 45 minutes away with a car. I did not have a car. I still don't have a car. So I had to take the railroad to the bus to another bus. Me being from the city, taking public transportation is not a big deal since I'm from New York, but I had to travel from New York to this little town in Long Island, and I was going to school in this town where the buses stopped running after 7 p.m. and they only came once an hour, so it was so inconvenient. Plus, being a theater major, I had to stay after school like late a lot, especially if you were in rehearsals, or you had to be a part of a crew, or you had to be a part of a show, or auditions. And this particular evening I had auditions, and what usually happens if I can't take the bus, my mom would sometimes come all the way out to Long Island, pick me up and bring me back home, or sometimes I could get a ride with a friend. So it was auditions, and auditions always used to make me so nervous because we had to act and we had to sing. The acting part didn't really make me nervous, but the singing got me so nervous because I can't sing. I really can't sing. As much as I try, I just can't sing, and I don't think I'll ever be a singer, and I accept that now. But I had to sing no matter what, even if I wasn't trying to be in a musical theater show. I had to audition and sing, and my singing is a little rusty. I mean, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I can't sing. Anyways, so what I would do, I would work with people to practice my singing so that I wasn't so atrocious. So I was just a little atrocious, but not so atrocious. Atrocious. That's a weird word. I don't even know why I chose it. I don't speak with those type of words usually. Anyways, so I was working with, I usually work with people to work on my audition just so it's perfect. And there was a guy around school who I used to see him around the school. He seemed like a quiet, nice young guy around my age who was willing to help me. So he helped me with my practicing with my auditions, and he offered me a ride home. And he said, oh, you live in Queens? So do I. I could take you home, it's no problem. And I was like, perfect, because it wouldn't make sense for my mom to come all the way from Queens to come back, to go out to my school to bring me back home. You know what I mean? Save the time. So it's getting ready to go. And this was a red flag right here, because a girl came up to us and was like, oh, can I get a ride with you guys too? And he was like, no, you can't. And I should have took that as, why not? You know what I mean? But I wasn't even thinking. I was like, wow, who? But, so he said no to the girl. And we're on our way So we're driving or whatever. It seems like a nice ride. He's a good driver. We don't have any problems with the drive. But he lives on one side of town of Queens, and I live on the other side. So I figured he'll have to go to my house first, right? That makes sense. And he starts driving in his neighborhood. And I'm like, why? Right? That's a red flag. Why? And he's like, oh, well, before I bring you home, do you want to see where I think? Or right around where I like to just sit and think. And in my head, I'm like, no. I could care less about where you sit and think. I want to go home. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And I had a bad audition. I just want to sleep. And I'm like, sure, whatever. I guess if it's in the way. I'm thinking it's like, I don't even know what I'm thinking, what it is. I thought it would be something cool. So I really could care less. I just wanted to go home and sleep. So he drives in like this residential area, and the houses are really nice and big and a lot more expensive than that area where I live. And then all of a sudden he goes into like a dead end block, and he's like, this is where I like to sit and think. And he's talking, and I'm like, and I guess we're having a conversation. I can't remember everything. And I really wanted to go home. I was like, dang, it's starting to get late. You know, all right, this is nice. I'm trying to think of ways to, you know, let me go home. I'm like, oh, you know, it's getting late. Oh, I'm getting tired. You know, you ready? And all of a sudden, this big Hispanic man comes out of his house, and he goes up to the car, and he's like,
didn't I tell you to stay away from here? Didn't I tell you not to come back over here?
And he starts arguing with this Hispanic guy, and he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what is going on? And the guy is like yelling, and he's yelling back, and I'm like, what's going on? Who is this? What is going on? Because the guy seemed like hood. Like, the guy seemed like he was not afraid of nothing. And I'm like, what? Let's call the boy who drove me Rob. And Rob was I seen him as this quiet, like, sweet, innocent young kid. Literally, he transformed into something else. He legit turned into a different person. He starts yelling at me, telling me to shut up, telling me to mind my business, stop asking so many questions. Ew, that cat sounds disgusting. Did you hear that? Okay, he's like yelling at me, making me feel even more scared and nervous. He's yelling at this guy, threatening him. He turned into literally, you ever seen the Drake transformation? That's how he just transformed, or like a Pokemon evolution, like boom, like he became a different person like that. And I'm like, oh wow, what is going on? I'm probably I swear a tear probably came down my eye, because I'm like, what is going on? And Rob decides he's not afraid of this big Hispanic guy. He wants to run him over with his car. And I'm like, what? So he legit like threatens to drive over this guy, like he has his engine, and the guy's like, oh, you think you tough? Oh, you want to run over people? So oh, you want to try and run over people? And he goes back in his house, and I'm like, we should really go, and this is a sign we need to leave. The guy comes out of his house with two other guys just as big as him, a dog, his mom, I believe it was his mom, was an older Hispanic woman, and he has a bat in his hand. And all of a sudden, Rob, he's like, I don't know what's going on, blah 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 blah. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Are you serious? What is going on? Like, this legit was like you don't understand. I've never been in an experience like this. I'm like, how did I get into this experience? How do I leave? How do I go home? Uber wasn't around back then, so I had no way to escape. Like, I was like, I should have just got a ride from my mom, because I wouldn't have dealt with any of this BS, none of this drama. So Rob tries to leave. All of a sudden, his car, he's like, oh, my car is stalling. And I'm like, what does that mean? And he's yelling at me for not knowing what that means, but I legit did not know what that meant. And I figured, I guess his car just wouldn't start or wouldn't run. So this guy's like all around his car, and they're like yelling and threatening him, and they're like arguing and cursing. And the guy's like, oh, you think you tough now you can't leave. And he breaks his mirror, one of the little mirrors on the side of his car. He breaks it with the bat. And Rob is like, I promise, my car stalled. Come on, guys, let me just call my dad. And his whole voice toned. like his whole tone just went down. He devolved from that big scary Pokemon to the little Pikachu. Pika. Legit, like he went from boom back to boom. Cause his car wasn't working, so I guess he was all scared. And literally, I remember the guys were trying to get him out of the car. They were trying to fight him, and the whole time I'm thinking, what in the world did this guy do? Cause he looked like a little innocent boy. What did this boy do to make these guys so mad? Did he owe them money? Did he do something to their family? What did he do? Did he sell them a bad product? So he calls his dad. Rob calls his dad to help him get out of the situation. And while we're waiting for his dad, he decides to coach me on lies to tell his dad, which I'm not about to lie to your dad. Why? So he tells me to tell his dad. He's like, if my dad asks any question, just tell him that you know these guys, that you know those guys. And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't know these guys. I ain't gonna lie to your dad. And he's like, if my dad asks why you're in this area, tell him you live around here. And I'm like, wow, I don't live around here. I'm not gonna lie to your dad. So his dad comes and he's like very concerned. He's like, what's going on? What is this? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure the boy tried to convince his dad that I knew those guys. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know those guys. I don't know anything about what's going on. And the dad is like, where do you live, sweetie? And I'm like, I don't live around here. I live so-and-so where I live. And he's like, what are you doing over here? And I was like, your son offered me a ride home. He brought me here. I want to go home. I was put in a dangerous situation. Blah, blah, blah. I basically sold out. I'm not a ride or die. I'm not going to put myself out in that situation. What if the guy, where would I have gone? Like, how would I have gotten home? So the dad offers me a ride home, and he's apologizing the whole time. He's like, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this. You seem like such a sweet girl, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, thank you, because your son is rude. He didn't apologize. Like, how did I get in this situation? So literally that was like such a terrible day, because I thought I was gonna get beat up or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. The next day I'm taking the bus to school, my usual 3-hour route, and I see that same boy, and his mirror is broke. So he took the bus because his dad took his car away, and he's looking at me like I'm the reason why his car is all broken, like he's my new enemy. He looks at me, I look, and I keep on moving because I don't know, it's not my fault. I think I did apologize, and I did offer to help pay for the mirror, but it wasn't my fault. And I don't even think I told anybody the story because I was so traumatized. And it just shows you that you can't just get in the car with anybody. You don't know what to expect. Like, literally, I thought I knew somebody just because I see them around every single day, but you don't know everybody's lifestyle. You don't know what they do behind closed doors, what they do outside of school. Make sure to tell me how you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I don't want to leave, but I gotta go right now. I'll be back before you know it.